Well, I mean, of course, the whole Beatles, Beach Boys, Rolling Stones, that whole group of people that came up in the '60s and '70s. There for a while, I got off and I was playing in a really hard rock band, and we were influenced by, and you may not know anything like from the Detroit sound, like the MC5, Mitch Ryder, um, Iggy and the Stooges, Lou Reed, David Bowie, that genre of kind of like alternative hard rock stuff. I did stuff like that for probably 10, 15 years in some bands like that. Those were influences. And then as I got a little older and I got a little bit more deaf from standing in front of huge stacks of amplifiers, I really didn't want to do that
Don't blame
anymore.
you.
So, yeah, I went into more like the country rock genre, like Eagles, Poco, New Riders of the Purple Sage. Those are some bands maybe I do recall playing songs of. Um, and that morphed of late into more like the Tom Petty and Hank Williams, Hank Jr., Charlie Daniels, the Chris Christopherson type, storytelling, John Prine, storytelling type. And that's what I've been writing now for the last decade or so, kind of like
I
storytelling
love
songs.
storytelling songs. I think there should be
That's what,
more of those. I miss a lot of that. I think
yeah, it's
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I grew up on that type of stuff. You mentioned Tom Petty, and I knew a lot of his popular music, of course, but there was this one album of his who had this song. I think it was called Two Gunslingers. Have you ever heard of that song of his?
I'm sure I have. I don't remember it. I've listened to almost every one of his
It
albums
was an
though.
interesting song about these two gunslingers who, just showdown and out west, and they get to a certain point, and they're like, and both of them look at each other. We don't want to fight anymore, and the rest of the song is about them, walking away from the fight and so on and so forth. But I just thought, what a cool notion for a song, and I could make a book from that. So it's on my to do list
Yeah,
of books I plan to write someday.
he's a great storyteller. Yeah, I mean, too bad he's died,
Yes.
but he's a great storyteller and learned a lot.
Absolutely. And I don't know if he did more than one movie part, but he was in a movie with Kevin Costner. I think it was called The Postman. And he did really well in that movie.
Yes, he was.
I was really impressed with
Yeah,
him.
yeah, he was. Too bad the movie didn't do so good. I don't think the movie made
Probably
any
not.
money,
But those are some of
but
my favorite
yeah,
movies. The ones that don't get a lot of acclaim are usually some of the best movies, you know?
I think what else he wrote about? Was it Waterworld another one of the Costner bombs? I think
Yeah. And
Waterworld
it
was
was
another one.
okay. It wasn't one of my
But
favorite ones, but I thought Postman was actually a pretty good storyline. Really well done.
well, it's post-apocalyptic,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Neither here nor there, just except that it had Tom Petty in it, which was kind of a cool feature. But
yeah. Mhm.
so now you mentioned that you've written three books.
Right,
Tell me
right,
about your
right,
books. So
right.
you mentioned multiple genres. So tell us a little bit about your
Yeah,
books.
three different. Three. I wrote the first book I wrote. I was researching
Okay.
Asperger's, and I thought, and I was in a medical field at the time, and I was researching that, and I thought, man, I could probably make a character and spin Asperger's and spectrum disorders in there, and I did, and it had to do with aliens and these kids with there was a young adult novel, these kids with Asperger's who could actually see and hear things on a different, you know,
Wavelength.
wavelength than other people. They were able to identify this stuff and they saved the world.
I like that.
That
That's
was
a
one.
cool
It was a
storyline.
fun book to write.
Yeah.